Hello and welcome. In this particular video right here, I'm going to show you how you can create awesome videos that have a tremendous potential of going viral. These ones that we're talking about are going to be videos where you take characters from certain movies, or in this case, we're going to take Hollywood actors, and we can turn them into the, let's just say, female version of these actors. Okay. But I have a different way of doing this. Now, in this case, this is a channel I stumbled upon, and they've just recently started to post these types of videos with a great deal of success. For example, this video was released 3 days ago, 13,000, 4 days ago, 17,000. And these are some of the metrics I usually look at when it comes to videos to see how successful a channel can be. Is, when was in the past 7 days, was there a video that exceeded the 10,000 video mark? And you can notice that right here on this channel, a lot of videos have exceeded that, and some videos even exceeded the 100,000 mark. I think actually only one. This one is soon, but they started posting around 3 months ago, and this is a concept. Now, they do long form videos, which I respect, but to be honest with you, we're actually going to do it better. All right. I have a way of doing this better. So, in other words, let's get to it. Now, let me just go and check my channel out, because, or not my channel, but I'll check one of the most recent videos of mine. And I'm going to transform certain celebrities into their female versions. But I don't really know which celebrities. So I'm just going to pick maybe some examples. All right. So let's say, for example, Johnny Depp. Now over here, I have a prompt which I have crafted. I'm just going to tweak this prompt, and this prompt is able to create images like this. For instance, you can create an image of a prime actor next to his actual current self. But what I will do here, and I want you to follow very closely, I'll go to Nano Banana, and I'll click on create an image. And I'll say, for instance, create a 9:16 real life Ultra HD close up of Arnold Schwarzenegger from not Terminator 2, but yeah, Terminator. Actually, let's leave it at that. The young and the female version of Arnold Schwarzenegger. The female version of Arnold Schwarzenegger is definitely not bald, is more beautiful and attractive. And actually, both are sitting on a seat in an empty park at daytime. The photo must look like it has been taken as a medium close-up, full body front view photo. Both the male and female version are looking forward at the camera, film the entire body. Both are wearing clothes that match the era and characters. Okay, so let's get going. So each character has a particular famous role that they have played in their lifetime. Now here you can see that it's starting to create this. I just hope that it doesn't have some issues with this, because sometimes these tools might have issues with it. But in the meantime, I also like to show you another way on how you can transform a particular picture to the female version of that picture. First, using Sora, but I'm going to use the old version of Sora, so I'm going to switch to old version of Sora. And the second part, or the second one, is basically using Google Gemini. But first, I need an image. Arnold Schwarzenegger, Terminator. Okay, Terminator. Now over here, there's a bunch of images of him as the Terminator. Now I think I'll take this one because it's a close-up. But before that, let me go back here. Now notice Notice that this is Arnold, all right, as the Terminator, and this is his female version, all right. Now, one thing I usually do to create a fascinating animation is I copy this image and I ask the AI to do this. I say, remove the female version of Arnold. All right, so I remove her from the picture, and then I create like a sequence using Kling AI by using first frame, end frame, or start frame, end frame. One is where Arnold is sitting alone, and then he's joined by the female version of himself. Though I don't think that I should post this on my channel, it just might ruin my channel. But I've seen a lot of people getting millions of views doing just this. So here, notice that basically I removed the character from the seat, and I have another picture where the female version is sitting there. So in order to create a video out of this, I would go to video in terms of Leonardo AI. And because I don't use Kling AI inside of Kling.com or Kling.ai, I use Kling inside of Leonardo, okay? And it allows me to generate HD videos at 9 by 16, 5 seconds each. And I can use a start frame and an end frame. So sitting alone, there is no female Arnold with him. So I'm going to drag and drop this, or you can download the image and upload it. And then the ending frame shall be the one. Now, let me just check something here. All right, perfect. So the ending frame shall be the one where Arnold is sitting with the female version of Arnold. Right, I've already done this one. Let me go back. This is the one I should add right now. Drag and drop. All right, so I'll drag and drop this right over here. And what I will do is I'll just say something like he is joined by his wife or by his friend. By his wife. I'm gonna say his wife. They for a couple photo. All right, a couple's photo. All right, and I can click generate. Now, while that's cooking right there, I'll show you another way on how you can turn someone into the female version of themselves. So if I copy this particular image right here, I could paste this into Gemini, for instance, and then I could say the following. I could say create or turn, create or based on the image attached, turn it to the female version. All right. And I'll also do the same thing in Sora. So I'll go to Sora, click on my media, and then here I can generate as much as a 16 by or 3 by 2 image. And with Sora, it can actually work pretty well as well. Gemini is kind of like the real deal, but you can also try Sora as well if you want to. But Gemini's Nano Banana is just far exceeds Sora right now in terms of potential. And that's coming from somebody that's been using these tools for the longest time. So here you can see that, I was spot on. So this is the female version of Arnold. And to be completely honest with you, it looks more incredible. But I'll try the same prompt with Sora just to showcase that you can use multiple models to do this. In the meantime, let me go back to Kling AI or Leonardo to see the Kling video. Now, I'm using Kling 2.5. By the way, the 350 tokens is the least you can spend on this type of animation. All right. Now, there are multiple ways on how you can create videos. There's Kling AI, there's Grok, there's Google Gemini, there's VO3, there's Sora 2. But one of the best ways is Grok because it's the cheapest. It allows you unlimited video generation under the Super Grok plan. And supposing, for example, that you want to create an animation or a video, a 5-second video, 5.8 seconds to be precise, video of this character, Arnold, you can just drag and drop the image into Grok. Make sure that you are in grok.com/imagine. And then you can say here, female version of the Terminator. Female version of the Terminator. And I can hit submit, in which case it's going to start generating the video for me. I think I should go back here because Kling is supposed to have already generated the video. What's it taking so much time for? But in the meantime, now that you have or that we have created or launched the video for Arnold, supposing that you want to do this for Jack Sparrow, right? You want Johnny Depp from Pirates of the Caribbean. So Johnny Depp from instead of Pirates of the Caribbean, you can also say Jack Sparrow, or I'm just gonna say from Pirates of the Caribbean. The male and the female version of Johnny Depp. So here I'm just gonna copy the name Johnny Depp because from now I just have to change that Arnold name into Johnny Depp. All right, so that they will create a beautiful image. All right. Okay, Johnny Depp is more attractive. Da, 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 da. All right. So if I were to submit, it should go ahead and create the video for me or image. In the meantime, so this is what it looks like. This is what the video looks like of Arnold. I like the fact that he's not moving at all. It's kind of hilariously uh Arnold stuff, right? It's Arnold style. He's not just not moving at all. And at the same time is because the image that we used, I intentionally, when I removed the character, the female character from the image, Arnold was kind of like left in the same position. So he looks like he's frozen there. But I mean, if you watch the Terminator, you'd know that that's typical of Arnold. He just doesn't move. Now, here, as you can see, this is Jack Sparrow and his female version. So I'm going to say remove the female version. And it's going to go and do that. In the
I have
meantime, notice that this is the female version of Arnold. All right. And you can see that it's kind of cool. You can see how insane Grok
cheers,
is.
Nes. I'm a new model. Sarah Connor, come with me, make you want to live. The future
This is
is
really
Nes
good.
now.
This is really good. It even has voiceover, so that's hilariously insane. And you can see that that's kind of cool. Now let's check Sora's version of female transformation. Now you can see that Sora also did a pretty good job. All right, I'm not gonna lie, it actually did a pretty tremendous job. But I will still lean towards Google Gemini because Sora is kind of limited a bit. So I'll just close, but you can also generate realistic, real life looking female versions of different characters. So here you can see it kind of removed the female version of Johnny. So what I'm going to say here, I'm going to say change his hand gesture just to kind of make an edit, just a bit of an edit, because if he looks the same, then the frame is going to look more like this. It's going to look more like a Terminator type guy. So usually I not only remove a character, but I also change the hand gestures or change even the face position where the way where he's looking. So if he's looking right, I would change it to left. You can see now here he changed the hand gesture, which is kind of cool. So I'm going to go back to Leonardo here, and I'm just going to click on Start Frame. And basically, what I'll do is I'll just drag and drop this particular image right over here. And next, I'll also click the second frame. So the second frame is going to be the one where he's with his female version. And you can see that it's kind of very, very attractive. The female version is attractive. Now, if I were to just put this here. So this is a female version of him, and I'm gonna use the same prompt. He's joined by his wife for a couple photo, or a couple's photo, and that's pretty much that. So I have a bunch of other characters that I would like to generate female versions for. Certainly not Mike Tyson. I don't think he'll take kindly to that, to be honest. But let's say, for example, what are the top roles in cinema? All right, I'm gonna look for maybe Harry Potter top movie heroes of Hollywood of all time. I think we should do for Stallone, and we should also do for some other characters. All right, so male. All right, Hollywood male characters of all time. Now we could definitely also do some females as well, but I'm gonna go for top 10. I'm just trying to make a demonstration here. All right, so Indiana Jones, James Bond, Rocky Balboa. All right, well, not bad. So we have this guy here, Henry Cavill. I'm wondering how how his female version is gonna look like. I think it's gonna look pretty cool. Now here, let me just download this video because I failed to download it. And now let's proceed with the rest of the stuff. So basically, here I'm gonna click on this prompt and select it to copy it on a new chat. Make sure you unlock the create image option. And right now, I'm just gonna do Henry Cavill. So Henry Cavill from The Witcher. Henry Cavill. Now he's also Superman, by the way, but I like The Witcher. I like his role as The Witcher. He's pretty awesome in The Witcher. Though they kind of changed him with Liam Hemsworth, which kind of was horrendous, and I stopped watching season 4 because of that. But let's just do this. So anywhere there's a mention of Johnny Depp or another actor that we generated the female version for before, we must make sure that we remove that and change it with the new character. And all you got to do is to click on submit and make sure that you always mention 9 by 16 image. Otherwise, the image is just not going to be in the size you want it to be. So here you can see this one is also pretty cool. These videos don't have sound, by the way, if you want to know, they don't have sound. So that's that. Now let me just download. I don't really think that my audience is really gonna like this type of video, but whatever. This one is actually pretty nice. All right, I kind of like it. I'm not gonna lie. So this is gonna be my first frame. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna say remove the picture of the male version. So I'm gonna start to alternate right now. Instead of removing the female version, I'm gonna remove the male version, and yeah, so on and so forth. So I'm probably going to add 7 more characters. So we have James Bond, we have Christopher Reeve, not Rocky Balboa or Sylvester Stallone. We have Christian Bale. All right, I'm gonna write them on a Word document right here so that I don't forget them. All right, how about like The Rock? Some characters that people really want to see. All right, Dwayne Johnson. I have Keanu Reeves. I have Sylvester Stallone. I have Jean Claude Van Damme. And then what else? I have 3 more that I can add to this. Okay, Han Solo or Harrison Ford. We have Bruce Willis. We have. All right, let me add John Travolta. John Travolta. So I'm just trying to add some characters right here. What else? What else? I'm just kind of trying to do my best here to just. We have Dolph Lundgren. All right, so we have now it's 6. I have 1 more to add. All right, so let's just do maybe just someone, really. I think I'm gonna do Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise. Okay, so right now let's go back here. Yeah, so this is the female version is left alone on the picture. I'm gonna say change. Well, actually, I'm gonna say change her eye position. She must look the other way. All right. So at least I'm kind of changing something else, not just removing a character and leaving her frozen like that. There must be a difference in terms of both images, because if I'm going to use this as a start frame, the second frame should actually look like she made an action, whether that is she moved her hand, whether that is she moved her. And by the way, this is top secret. Now she's looking the other way. I like it. So here, let's just go to the starting frame, and I shall just go ahead, drag and drop this right here. By the way, it still cost me about $1 or $2 to generate a short like this. All right, and then here we have Mr. Witcher. So it's kind of like a concept, and this channel here seems to like have capitalized on this quite well. There's a lot of other channels that do this better. So celebrity swap face or gender swap. If you look for this niche, it's actually a real deal, pretty good niche in on YouTube, right? So right, you can see that even guess the celebrity by opposite gender. Like this one was released 2 years ago, even before these leaps. But yeah, for example, this one right here, it's with Photoshop, and it's still like 400,000. So it's a pretty good one. All right, I'm not gonna lie. All right? I think it's a pretty good niche for you to maybe, especially if you create these types of shorts. To be honest, they're definitely gonna be awesome. All right, so now I'm going to move on to the next character, The Rock. I mean, The Rock. God damn. I mean, for The Rock, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's gonna happen, but I'm definitely gonna add like the Dwayne Johnson from Hercules, from his role as Hercules, you know, from Hercules. The male and the female version of Dwayne Johnson. To be honest, it's I'm not doing this out of disrespect, but I'm just doing this to kind of show people the potential of AI to do these really different things. And by the way, you can go for make a sequel out of this. You can make like a sequel, and the same way you did male characters with their female versions, you can also do like female characters and transform them like to their male versions and make it look like they're sitting next to each other's, or do like an image like this showcasing the difference in terms of age and how characters have really grown over the years. By the way, here Arnold should not be bold, but by mistake I kind of added that keyword bold there. But anyways, um, I'm not really convinced if the Rock's female version is gonna look like that. So I think I'm gonna leave the Rock out of this video because, or not the Rock, but probably Dwayne Johnson. But I'm just not gonna mention the movie, right? I'm just gonna say the male and the female version without mentioning the movie because otherwise it's just gonna look like that. There should at least be like a similarity. For instance, the first image we created, which was the female version and the male version of Arnold, you could tell that that's actually the female and the male version of Arnold, right? So you could tell. But on this one, I'm not sure if people are going to be able to tell. This one, though, is definitely people are going to be able to tell. You can see the similarities there. I like it. So now I'm going to say remove the male version of Dwayne. All right. And in the meantime, I think my video is ready or not. All right. So as you can see, it's necessary to kind of make this step. They're wearing the same clothes, which is kind of hilarious. Um, but you got to admit that this is really some deep, deep, advanced technology. Now, yeah, and the cool thing is that they kind of modified the laugh without me saying anything, so that's cool. It kind of works in my favor. I like it. So I'm gonna go back here and I'm gonna click start frame. I'm gonna use this as my start frame, and I'm gonna use my end frame as the one where they're sitting together like as a couple. And I'm pretty sure that in the world there must be somebody that looks like this. So you have to know that for every person, there are 40 people in the world that look very closely or similar. They would look similar to that person. All right. So he's joined by his wife, well, a couple photo. All right. Now we have Keanu Reeves. Okay. So let's move gently. Basically, here, create the HD quality, create an image. All right. Instead of Dwayne, I'm just going to say Keanu Reeves. And I'm just gonna copy, paste. All right, paste. All right, it's more okay. Let's paste. I think that my video here of the Witcher is was generated. You can see how cool this is. I just don't really know why he keeps closing and opening his eyes, but you can see that the female version of the Witcher really does look awesome. Um, so okay, so let's just go ahead and download. All right. Now we have Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves, come on. I mean, all right, so let me do it differently this time. Keanu Reeves from The Matrix. Or instead of The Matrix, why not John Wick from John Wick? Let's have the John Wick male and the John Wick female. And by the way, these videos are much better than those other videos where you kind of show like an image at the top showing the male version, and then you do an image version of that, the female version of that, and you just kind of show images. Those kind of also can work. They can definitely work, but not as much as this type. This type is more entertaining because it just is more engaging. It keeps people absorbed into the video because there's a lot more for them to see there. But I mean, does that really look like the female version of Keanu? I don't think so. Uh, the female version of Keanu Reeves. I'm gonna add John Wick again because it doesn't really look like she's the fit. At least not the way I see it. This one is definitely better because it just looks the part. All right, let's just give it one more shot. I mean, yeah, right now we're definitely talking. I think that this is well, this could be acceptable. So first and foremost, I'm gonna say remove um, the female version of John. All right. So now we have four. There's six more to go. Keanu, Sylvester, John, Claude, John Travolta, Dolph Lundgren. Is it Lundgren or Lundgren? I'm not sure. Dolph Lundgren, actually. Dolph Lundgren. All right, so I'm gonna say change his hand gesture. We want a subtle difference there. It's definitely should not be 100% static. There should be some kind of a difference. All right. Well, they kind of changed his hand gesture into in a weird way, but at least they changed it. So here, I'm going to drag and drop this particular image of John as a male, and here we have the female version. Doesn't really look much like him, but then again, I mean, doesn't have to, right? But at least this time there's a bit of a similarity. All right, so let me just hit the generate button here, and in my title for the video, I'm not gonna be straight and say male and female versions. I'm just gonna say, for example, Kling AI brings these celebrities with their real soulmate. You know what their real soulmate should look like. You know that would be kind of cool. Now here we have Sylvester Stallone. All right, so one of my favorite actors, or was one of my favorite actors at one point. I kind of liked him for his movie Rocky, to be honest. Sylvester Stallone, and I'm gonna say Sylvester Stallone from Rocky. All right. Well, I didn't specify which Rocky. I'm gonna say young, muscular Sylvester Stallone from Rocky One. I didn't say that. I didn't specify exactly his age, so they kind of generated a picture where he looks a bit elderly. I mean, he's getting close to. I think he's already 80 years old or something, or at least close. But what I want is really a picture of him back when he was younger, in his younger days, and I want a picture of him next to the female version of himself. Oh, actually, this one does look a lot better, though. I mean, he looks like he's bruised. So I'm going to redo this. All right, I'm gonna redo this because sometimes it just doesn't work so well. All right, and I think I'm gonna have to specify the young version of each character from now on. Because it doesn't seem to work by just mentioning their names. Now here, is this cool? I don't know. I mean, the female version of Sylvester Stallone from Rocky, the female version. All right, let's redo it one more time because sometimes with Nano Banana, it can just sometimes disregard certain things because I don't see any similarities between that male and the female version that it just has just shown me. They should look a little similar, at least in terms of their facial features. All right, so with this one, I think I'll go with it because they look like it looks the part. So I'm gonna say now remove um, the female version. And I don't think I will change the facial expression of Stallone there. I'll leave it exactly as is. I'll just remove the female version. All right, so here you can see this is kind of cool, right? So we have our fifth. Now we're also close. So I'm gonna come back here, get ready by clicking on start frame. This shall be my start frame right now. But let me look at one thing here. All right, that's gonna be a good one. So I'm gonna drag and drop this as my start frame, and of course the end frame would be the one, or supposedly the one where the female version is going to join him. All right. And now I'm doing this for short form content format, but if you want, you can make it a 16 by 9 format just by changing the 9 by 16 to 16 by 9. If your intention is to actually make long form videos, if you want to do that, if that's your thing. But in my case, it's not. So I'm just putting that out there. Now, as far as Dolph Lundgren, so here I'm just going to say Dolph Lundgren. All right, young, and maybe gonna add handsome Dolph Lundgren, the male and the female version of young Dolph Lundgren. The female version of Dolph Lundgren is beautiful and attractive. Well, I could actually say nothing about whether she's attractive or not. I'll probably leave the AI do that. Okay, so both the female and the male version are sitting on an empty park. Da 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 da. All right, so I'm kind of refining my prompt as I go. Right, so sometimes that is something you might want to do is from as you go, you might want to just work on the prompt a bit, refine it a bit. That's kind of it's kind of cool. All right, so let's see. I mean, this one, well, I don't really know about this. It's not a close up, as I said. All right, so I'm gonna probably just redo one more. It should be, at least it should be a close up. Okay, I like those ones where it's a close up. I could choose the angle. I could say maybe like a sideways angle, but then again, I don't want to force the angle. I want it to generate a more natural image. All right. Well, this one is absolutely much better. I'm going to say remove the female version. Right. I mean, you don't even need to say which female version of which character. So, all right, this one is definitely pretty good, as you can see. I like the fact that she looks Italian. She has those beautiful Italian features. I mean, since Stallone is also Italian, so I kind of like, you need to pay attention to detail. That's pretty much all. I'm just checking because it looks like he's like a robot here. So I'm gonna say change his facial expression and hand gesture to neutral. I want to make it look like it's a neutral, you know, neutral hand gesture, neutral facial expression. And he's going to be joined by his female version. You can see this one, on this one we did a fantastic job because it just looks the part. It looks like what it should look like. All right, so let's check this out. Did it edit that? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. It kind of didn't. I think it did, but at the same time I think it didn't. I'm gonna say change his hand gesture only, because when I added the hand gesture and the facial expression, I think that might confuse Gemini and it might not really know what I'm asking from it. So let's just now ask it to only change the hand gesture and see where that leads us. I hope that it does a fantastic job. Right, modifying hand gestures. All right, so at least it's working on it. Well, actually, it didn't. Again, it didn't. Um, so this is one of those cases where it really it won't do anything. So I'm probably just gonna use this frame. To be honest, it's not a big deal. He looks like the Terminator, but I have to also say that Dolph Lundgren would have made a perfect Terminator if he acted as the Terminator. Would he be as good as Arnold? I don't know, but I think he's a fan. For me, it must be like a fan favorite. All right, so right now let's move swiftly onwards. I don't know which character is next right now. I think it's John Travolta. Yeah, John Travolta. No, actually, no, it's Jean-Claude Van Damme. All right, so now here, let me just paste this. Click on create an image, and then I'll copy the name Jean-Claude Van Damme. I think I'll copy it here first, and then I'll copy it again. All right, because if I copy it directly from a from a document, what happens is it usually doesn't copy it. It leaves some spaces, and I have to clean up again. All right, female version, young. All right, da 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 da. Okay, so I think that this one is also pretty well formatted. Now there's John Travolta. We already did Dolph Lundgren. So now there's John Travolta and Tom Cruise are the ones that are left. What else? Did I download that video of Stallone? Let me check this out. Yep, I already did download it. So right now, just want to check something. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're good. This one, I'm definitely not changing anything about it. I'm going to say remove version. So I'm going to remove the male version out of the picture because I mean you can see that they look pretty much like twin brothers. Like because sometimes sister and a brother as twins. I certainly have seen this case, twin brother and sister. And Game of Thrones kind of made a famous case of a twin one. These actors have that is kind of like more of a respectable respectful title to add. Because if I say like the female versions, it would not be taken lightly. And actually it's kind of disrespectful. But if I say, what if these actors had twins? That is more interesting. Instead of saying, oh well, the female version of them, kind of like trying to. Because I always, like to put yourself in people's shoes. Some people, the same way you wouldn't like people doing something to you, you definitely wouldn't like people doing the same way you should not do things to other people. Now here, and also be smart about your decisions because sometimes you just have to think a little extra to avoid all trouble. There's definitely a way that you can, think and make sure that you just achieve your target, and at the same time offend nobody. All right, young. Okay, it's all about the rule of law and making sure that you respect the law, right? Very important. Otherwise, you won't have a business. You'll have a temporary side hustle. And you want to make sure you definitely, when you're building something, that you're building a real legit business. Okay, so this one is about John Travolta. And by the way, a business is for something that's not permanent. You can't. I mean, there's no business that's going to be there for forever. But you should make sure that at least, I mean, that your business can sustain you for a quite long period of time, maybe a couple of years, if not 10 or more. So that you can just be able to live. All right, let's say remove the male version because he has his hands wrapped around right for the picture. So it only makes sense that he's the one that will come from the other side and will sit down on the chair and basically is the one that's gonna initiate that hand there. I think that only makes sense if it's done like that. All right, so this is good. So let's go to here. It seems like these ones are taking less time to create right now as we go. All right, so this one is about Jean-Claude Van Damme and his female version. All right, now here we have what else? We have John Travolta. And I think that after John Travolta, I'm just gonna close the video because I mean I've shown you enough as it is right now. So it should be enough for you to go ahead and make these videos right now. So okay, now here and finally we have one more. I'm kind of curious to see how the Tom Cruise version is going to turn out. I'm pretty sure it's going to turn out just fine. So right here, I'm just going to come over here, and the only thing I have to change is replace John Travolta with Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise. Okay, and here as well, young John Travolta. It should just be Tom Cruise. Okay. Both the female and the male version are sitting on a seat in an empty park at daytime. Da, 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 da. Okay, so now first here, let me just click on to add a dot because I think that adding a dot is kind of necessary. And I mean, that's our last character. All right, so we have John Travolta and Tom Cruise. All right, so I can close this right now. I used it pretty fairly. All right, so for me, I mean, in order to generate a video with this, you just have to download all your videos together, right? Which I've shown you how to do as well. And another thing you can do is you can apply some music. Now, the music that I'm going to apply is called Berlin, Take My Breath Away. It's kind of like a pretty nice, decent music to apply. So that's what I'm going to apply, to be honest. And I'll leave it to you to go ahead and continue the process. So, wishing you the best as always. But if you want to see how this one of Mr. Tom Cruise turned out, this is how it turned out. So that's it. Wishing you the best as always. Passive Income Gen Z signing out.